Yo, what's good, everyone? How's it going? I gotta turn my fan a little bit. Yo, what's good, Rose, Colin, Crash? How's it going, guys? By the way, Rose, I've been wondering, because I know you as Skyfall from the Discord. Do you prefer to go by Rose, Skyfall, whatever your name changes to? Oh, I've always just wondered. What's good, Pokey Girl? What's good, Icos? How's it going, guys? What's up? We're only gonna be here for a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like 30 minutes to an hour-ish. I had this conflict because it's like I really wanted to stream, but I also really wanted to play some Fighters later tonight, get some work done on some future videos. I was going to stream Recoded, but I didn't want to do an hour-long Recode stream. If I stream Recoded, I want to at least stream it for like close to 2 hours, going on 3. So that's where I'm at with that. But yo, like the pin message says, ask me anything, ask me whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a me question, it could be a content question, it can be a cage question. It doesn't matter. We do this like every once in a while. Like we probably do this like every other week or so. But it's just a nice thing to get discussions going. Yo, what's good, Tyler? Hi, what's up? Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. How old am I? What's my nationality? I've wondered those two for so long. I'm sure a lot of people have. I am 20. I just turned 20, and I am African American. Okay. Do I think that Sora ended up in Shibuya? Wait. Do I think that Sora ended up in Shibuya? Okay, I read that weird. Wait. No. I did read it the right way the first time. Do you think that Sora ended up in Shibuya and will be a part of the Reapers game? Well, Sora did end up in Shibuya. Will you be part of the Reapers game? It seems pretty likely. It seems pretty likely. Oh, that's my Discord. Yeah, the screen you guys see over here, this is literally just my other monitor. Like, I always leave this blank and I just talk over it during live streams. Am I going to watch the third Spider-Man movie? Of course, yeah. What are my thoughts on Pokemon Legends Arceus? I am not a Pokemon fan. However, I will admit, like, there have been a couple Pokemon games that have interested me in the past. X and Y is one. Sword and Shield is a little bit of another. Ultra Sun and Moon, but I haven't sat down and like invested myself into a Pokemon game, mostly because I've never been a fan of like Pocket Monster games. They've never clicked with me. And it does not help that they're turn-based either, because I grew up not liking turn-based. So Pocket Monsters, which is already not appealing to me, and turn-based, never been that big into it. It's been a struggle becoming a Pokemon fan nowadays, but to answer your question and not go on a long spiel about Pokemon, I think Pokemon Legends Arceus, as a person who's not that big into Pokemon, I actually think it looks really good. I really think it looks good. Like that looks like a standalone Pokemon game that I could really get into. Yeah, Nara did confirm it wasn't the same Shibuya, but it is still Shibuya, so we don't know what that means yet. That's just what he said. We don't know what that means. Is Kingdom Hearts planning on eventually walking away from Disney? No. And I wouldn't want it to. I think that would be a terrible decision. Maybe not terrible. I don't know. Like, I think Kingdom Hearts could definitely stand on its own. Like, I've grown such an attachment to Sora that if they made a Sora game with no Disney in it, no Square Enix, no nothing, I would still love it. I would probably still like eat it up because it's Sora, you know, that's my character. But Disney is like a big part of the charm, a part of the atmosphere. Don and Goofy contrast very well with Sora's character. So taking that away, I don't know, it would be a little less appealing, and I would definitely raise an eyebrow. Have I thought about doing an all pro codes run on Kingdom Hearts 3? Yes, I have. I've done most of the fights in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind with pro codes, but I've not done Xemnas, Ansem, Vanitas, and Yozora. So I have to do those 4 eventually. How would you react to Sora getting in Genshin? That would probably be as hype as Sora getting in Smash for me, if not more than, because I play Genshin. Do I play Genshin more than Smash now? Yeah. I past year I've definitely played Genshin more than Smash, so yeah, I would probably be more hype. Yeah, what's good, Leland, Wells, whatever you prefer to be called. Welcome back to the stream. Do you think we will see Kingdom Hearts 4 by 2024? Also, I'm the guy who you played in Smash a few months ago and lost really bad. Turkable, hey, what's good? Yo, everyone, you're like the 3rd person to come into my stream and say I've like watched them in Smash. I guess I'm pretty good at Smash. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me stop. Oh my gosh. I would love to stream fighting games more, man. Definitely am going to like try to transition you guys into fighting games. That is a objective of mine, but slow and steady wins the race. So we'll ease into it. I've been easing you guys into it with Smash, but Smash is not my favorite fighting game. It's not my, I wouldn't even say it's my main fighting game. I would say it's probably like top 3 main fighting games. But my main fighting game, like the fighting game I think I'm the best at, is probably Under Night. But I play a lot of games. I play a lot. But I was reading a question and I just went on a tangent. Do I think KH4 will release by 2024? Yeah, I do. Yeah. I said in my video, I think I said 2024 or 2020. Yeah. I think I said 2024 or 2025, something like that. Like, for sure. It depends though. It depends on if we're getting one more title between KH3 and 4 or if we're getting 2. Because if the next game is just one out of the 2, then probably 2025. But if it's just the one, then yeah, I definitely think 2024 for KH4. Because if they still retain assets, like you guys like may not realize, but development time gets cut like in half. It gets completely cut in half when you retain assets. Making new assets and getting those things to function in game, you're basically building everything from scratch, making everything from the ground up. You're inventing new gaming technology when you're building stuff from scratch a lot. When you retain assets, you can just build on top of what you already have. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful, and it cuts time in half. But Kingdom Hearts is weird. Square Enix is a very weird company. Square Enix is the type of company to do all that work with Unreal Engine 4 and still try to go back to Luminous Engine anyways. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like the next KH game probably isn't even going to play like KH3. I hope it does. I hope it just builds on top and maybe have like a unique gimmick or two. But Square, given history, every KH game plays like significantly different from the last. Almost all of them. So, I don't know. The next game might play more like 15 or something, and then like KH. Bro, I know you're a Smash legend, but I strictly know you from Kingdom Hearts, surprisingly. Yo, that's crazy. Someone who knows me for Kingdom Hearts? I can't believe it. Yo, I appreciate people like you. Thank you. Y'all say he likes Days gameplay. Yeah, I like Days gameplay too. I used to not like it, but I completely 180'd my perspective after last year. I do think the issue with Days is not the combat, not the mechanics, it's the bosses. The bosses in Days, they don't work like Cage bosses or even like BBS or Dream Job bosses, which might be better than what we have, honestly. Days bosses work like they're MMO bosses or something. Like they're just damage sponges. That's what Days bosses are. Have I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I've never touched Xenoblade. My friend Jayan and Jordan, everyone actually, has been trying to get me into Xenoblade for years. Have not budged, have not gotten into it. It takes a lot for me to commit to a game, especially one that long. Yeah, same, Rose, same. Well, I'd be down for a cage game that plays more like a character action game, akin to Devil May Cry Bayonetta. Yes and no. Mostly no. I would be, yes, as in I would be open to it. I would still play the game. I would be willing to give it a chance. But no, as in I like Kingdom Hearts' current foundation for combat. I actually think it's better than almost all the action games that we currently have. And I definitely feel this way after playing more action games, which I've been doing the past 2 years. Still need to finish Devil May Cry series, and I have not touched Bayonetta. I will admit, I have not touched Bayonetta. But off my other experiences with action games, I think Kingdom Hearts so far is still just supreme. And it's not because of its combos or anything, or its movement necessarily, though its movement is pretty great compared to others. It's mostly because I think Kingdom Hearts excels at boss design compared to like most other games. I think even Birth by Sleep like bosses are better than like a lot of action game bosses. So it's like, well, we like slander BBS and Dream Doll bosses. I think some of those bosses, after playing other action games, I think some of those are just better than other action games bosses. Like in a lot of action games, they're just kind of like, bosses are just kind of, they're training mode. I guess they're training mode, or they're just you just kind of wail on them. In Cage, you can do that. You can just wail on bosses, but I really like the atmosphere. I like the patterns. I like that sort of like memorization. Excuse me, I just hit my desk. That comes with bosses in Cage compared to other games. Not saying other games don't have it though, because they do. Question 0.2 fragmentary passage. If you fight Darkseid, finding Terra and Ven, if you look up when the Darkseid summons the Dark Spear, it does have an eye when it attacks you. Are you sure about that? You might want to send me a screenshot of that on Discord. Send that over. That'll be very interesting. I do think a Verimax game is likely, but I think it's like a 60-40 probability, I would say. I don't agree with that, Sans. I think Recode has some very innovative stuff, but I do still think Recode's gameplay suffers again from something I've been saying. I think bosses in Recoded haven't been that great so far, so I need to get to the end game to really see how it goes. Like, Recode has all this cool stuff, but like, I don't know. It's very good, but I still so far like Birth by Sleep's gameplay a little more in like actual gameplay scenarios, but just in terms of options, Recoded has a lot of that, and I like the way they utilize the command deck a lot. Slice of life KH gamer visual novel. Funny enough, I would actually like that. I would enjoy that. I enjoy the story and the characters to the point where I would love to play it. Like a Kingdom Hearts visual novel could be like the perfect introduction for me into visual novels. I would be totally open to that. I've been talking about how I actually think I've had this idea. Imagine a Lushu game, a Lushu visual novel where you're just going throughout all of Lushu's life and generations that he like lived through. Just imagine that. And I think that would be cool. I really do think that would be cool. What's your opinion on introducing more ambiguity to the series? Nara set up in the Xehanort reports balance of light and darkness, tyranny of light, but then he just dropped it. He did not just drop it, but introducing, like, making that more of a plot line. I think we want to see a lot more of that in the future, actually. I think the Master and Darkness are that, actually. Like, the Master's goal is literally to destroy the foundations of darkness. So, I think we are getting that actively right now, matter of fact. Yeah, Lucio visual novel will be very cool. Sora's in Smash, what level what do you think he gets? Destiny Island, the final world that the world never was, or Awakening Towers? I think the top stage, okay, if it's not a stage that just transitions like between worlds and stuff, no, Disney worlds are out of the question, we can assume, right? So I think the main 3 options for a cave stage would, if it's Sora in Smash, it would be Destiny Islands, the final world, or it would be or it would be Radiant Garden. I think those would be the 3. I think those would be the 3. However, I do think if Nomura is heavily involved in Sora's inclusion, like if it's Cage 3 Sora, I do see a off chance Shibuya 104 building possibility, but I doubt it. I think Destiny Islands, Final World, Radiant Garden would be the main 3. Scala could be up there too, but I don't think Scala would be like that. How would you feel for a side story-esque TV show like Marvel and Star Wars shows where they focus on certain characters? I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I actually have been advocating for a TV show covering Eden Cross. I think Eden Cross would be beautiful in an anime format. What kind of command deck would you imagine for Riku and Dream Drop Distance? Wait, what? I bet it would only have dark-based commands because, you know, first game stuff. Well, Riku already has a command deck in that game, but I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest. I mean, he didn't drop that from Xehanort really either, Drek. He just expanded it. Like, Xehanort didn't drop that whole, like, light and darkness thing. Xehanort literally, he wanted to give the world like a clean slate, where there were like signs of that like before, even in the Xehanort reports and like Birth by Sleep. Like that was an extended thing. I don't think that like retconned anything he had previously. I didn't interpret it that way, at least, though, but I can see how like others can. Sora ain't getting in Smash because they wouldn't be able to make it canon to the KH lore. You right. Would you be for a manga or visual novel of Sora's parents? I don't really care about Sora's parents, but they want to do it, I guess. But I'm not super crazy. That's one thing with Kingdom Hearts lore I'm a little concerned about. Them making like heritage a thing in Kingdom Hearts is a little odd to me. Like always, like they've been doing this recently, like with Lorium and his sister, for example. With Ericus and like his bloodline, him being a blue blood, like things like that. Like it's I think it opens up too many doors for like all these other characters, like Kairi being a princess of light, her grandmother. Like that was the only thing we even had before in the Cage series, or like Sora and his parents. It gives more validity and stuff like that. Or what about Riku? Who's Riku's dad? Is he related to Xehanort somehow? Xehanort's from Destiny Islands. I mean, is this not too crazy to think something like that, right? I don't know. Like it opens up so many doors for that type of stuff. What game systems do I have? Only two game systems I have with me currently are my PS4 and Switch. At the KH2 ending, when Sora and Riku are at the Dark Beach, Sora says you never can't imagine to imitate what? Okay, I don't know. That comment fell apart. I have no idea what you just typed. I think Sora and Riku shouldn't be present for the next saga. We saw Sora get crystallized in the bad ending. If Yozora has to save him, do you think we'll strictly see a Yozora and friend story? I do think a Yozora and friend story is possible. Do I think Sora and Riku not being in the next saga is possible? Not really. The bad ending is most likely not canon as well, because they categorize the endings in the game files as true ending and bad ending. The true ending being the ending where Sora wins. Like, it's titled as true ending in the files for Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, they'd have to try really hard to make Sora's parents an interesting thing. You want to be that guy? We're really starting to believe the whole Sora's the master theory. I don't think there's enough there for Sora being the master. I don't. Like, there's not much there for me. Like, I think the only reason people are saying Sora, well, not the only reason, but I think one of the major reasons people are saying Sora's the master, I think it's just of sheer importance. I think a lot of people see the master as this crazy smart individual, and they think it will be like super cool and headcanon for Sora to be the master, to be this crazy smart individual that we see. Master also has this like giggly, like funny side, and makes people feel really comfortable in a lot of scenarios. And people imagine Sora in the future, that would just be a cool storyline or something. I don't get that. I don't feel like that's the case. I think Sora being the master, like I've said this in a video. Now, if Sora was the master, I wouldn't automatically just be like, okay, I hate KH now or anything. It would have, I probably wouldn't be super crazy about it at first, but if they made it really good, and I mean, they really made it good, because I'm open to a lot of routes with storytelling. Like, I feel like I'm not going to be that guy. I feel like stories can do what they want as long as they're interesting, makes sense, yada yada. Sora being the master, they would have to work really hard to sell that for me. But I think currently Sora being the master would actually ruin a lot about Sora's character. Even in interviews with Nomura describes Sora. The reason he made Sora the way he is and made all these other characters the way they are, like all these other characters, Ventus, Terra, Aqua, have these tragic backstories. Xion, Roxas, Axel have these super tragic backstories and distinct personalities. Kairi, Riku even have that to an extent, especially Riku. Sora is purposely supposed to be one of the more normal characters in the series, not because it's some big twist like, oh, he's normal but not really, but because Sora is supposed to be like, to an extent, what he started off as was a blank slate for the characters for the player to put themselves like onto, to relate to, sort of thing. But he developed into this character where it's like, okay, he's just kind of the normal boy. He's the normal boy, like to show you that, okay, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter what your bloodline is, you can do whatever you sort of want. That old little story trope. That would take away a lot from his character, just making him the master. It will take away from the whole like, oh, Sora, you're it will take away from Sora just being, just good because he is. Now you get this argument where, okay, he's good because he has this crazy heritage and he's the master and he planned all this stuff in the future, blah blah blah. Like, I don't need all that. Not for me. I think that would mess with his character a little bit too much. Alright, my food just got here. Oops, that was my phone case, my bad. It's so hard to believe that what happened to him to make him the master simply hasn't happened to Sora yet. It's not like, what there's nothing to believe. It's not that it's hard to believe, it's that like there's nothing to believe because like it hasn't happened yet. Like when I see that stuff happen, when I see them start making the connections, I'll start being like, okay, this theory seems a little bit more valid, has a little bit more weight to it. But since there's like nothing there, like it's all just purely prediction, like beyond even speculation, it's just like it's almost a shot in the dark. Like I see Sora being the master, I almost see it as just a shot in the dark type of like thought. And like I sat down and did like a lot of research for it, and I've read like a lot of theories that I could, and there's not that much there. There's a couple of things. There are a couple of things. I'll give you guys some credit. There's a couple of things there, but not enough like to make it super duper likely. Like I think him being light makes more sense than him being Sora. And I'm not even super crazy about the master being literal light, but I wouldn't mind it fully. Like that makes more sense, you know? Hold on, give me a moment though. I gotta get my food. Alright, I am back. My first Kingdom Hearts game was KH1. Yeah, I'm aware of Kojima and Nomura's relationship. I made that sound weird, but they're yeah, they're friends. Sakurai and Nomura are friends as well. Well, I don't know if they're like actual friends, but they're like aware of each other. They've done interviews together. These rips looking nice. Should Kingdom Hearts have stopped at 2? Nah. Probably wouldn't be my favorite series if it did. I have a question for everyone actually. If Kingdom Hearts ended at Kingdom Hearts 2, would Kingdom Hearts still be your favorite game series, or would KH2 just maybe be one of your favorite games? For me, probably not. Like, KH2 was my favorite Kingdom Hearts game for years until KH3 came out. But what made Kingdom Hearts my favorite series was probably like Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop, like the lore. Like as the lore progressed, it started becoming my favorite series. Yeah, same. Like, KH1, 2 were definitely one of my favorite games. Also, Jake, every time you come in the stream, all you do is talk about what you don't like in KH3. Or you ask me, like, a question about, like, that has something to do with KH3 being, like, bad. You're not being mean or anything, though, but it's just weird. Do you think KH4 will be the end of both Sora and Riku's story? Hard to say. I think Kingdom Hearts will go to a KH5. I think KH4 will be like either the midpoint or like the official start to the new saga. While for KH5 being the finale, that's what I think. I don't know. I feel like the Keyblade Graveyard segment in KH3, I genuinely think that is probably one of the best sequences in Kingdom Hearts history. Is this so good? I have a lot of friends who have Sonic as their favorite. A lot. Shoot, dang, it's crazy because you guys would probably think I hang around a bunch of cage tubers all the time, and to an extent, like, I hang around a lot of people who like Kingdom Hearts or know about it to an extent, but most of my friends, they're, I say the biggest Kingdom Hearts, the closest friend I have who is, like, super into Kingdom Hearts is probably my friend Kingdom Ace Jordan. He's probably the biggest into Kingdom Hearts out of all, like, my super close friends. When I say super close, I mean, like, I talk to them, like, on a daily, weekly basis sort of thing. There's a lot of friends I have, but I talk to them maybe, like, at most once a week, or, like, I don't know, like, once a couple times a month or something. But, outside of Kingdom Ace, and even Kingdom Ace, Kingdom Hearts isn't his favorite series either. Of all my other friends, they're big into Sonic, big into fighting games, big into, what else, like Persona, that's one of Kingdom Ace's things, Persona, Chrono Trigger, so that's just one of those things. I think Base KH3 is the best Kingdom Hearts game. Like, Remind has made it better, but Base KH3 was my favorite. Like, a lot of people, when I say KH3 is my favorite game, they're like, yo, Remind was pretty good, I'll give you that. But I'm like, no, not just Remind. Base KH3 was great. Like, the amount of emotion I got from that game, like, I got almost everything I wanted out of it, honestly. Like, I genuinely did. Only thing Base KH3 was missing for me, was bosses, and Remind completely shattered my expectations with that. I thought the Disney Worlds in 3 were great. When I played it, actually, I thought I had the best pacing in the game. It's funny because I thought I was the only one thinking that. I thought I was just, okay, maybe I just don't understand riding or whatever. But other people were even thinking the same thing. Like, there's a couple people I know on Twitter are like, yo, KH3 also has some pretty decent pacing. Especially with Disney Worlds. Like, I know Keelade Sarah thinks so. I know, or I don't know if she still thinks it's the best, but I know she liked the pacing a lot in KH3. Like, I felt like I was getting story in every Disney World. I felt like I was getting something after every Disney World. It's so weird, because people often want to compare it to KH2's midpoint, but, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, KH2 barely gives you any lore in Disney Worlds. And Leland, that's not cool. Don't do that. I'm gonna delete that. Nah, we ain't about that here. The implications of that comment, not allowed. But anyhow, a lot of people compare it to, like, KH2, and I love KH2. I hate it when, like, it gets to a versus KH2 thing, but, like, man, KH2's Disney Worlds don't give you lore until the second visits for the most part. Like, and when they do give you lore, it's less lore than KH3 even gives you, which is the crazy part. I think what makes it different for some people, though, is because in KH2 you literally don't know what's happening throughout most of the game. Like, unlike KH3, everyone going into KH3, if you play Dream Drop, you know the game's going to end with the Keyblade War. So, like, you know that everything is going to lead to that. So you're looking for something outside of that, because you already know a Keyblade War is happening. But on KH2, you don't really know anything. So, like, even the tiniest of details, the tiniest interaction with the organization member feels like a lot. So I understand that. I really do. But when people compare Disney World, I'm like, it's so weird. Because, like, yeah, like, they had a really good 2-3 hour segment in Hollow Bastion. But that, I mean, I guess to an extent that can make up for, like, 4 or 5 hours of, like, nothing in Disney World. but people just ignore that. Like, I don't know. It's like when we're doing the comparison argument, like I want people to at least acknowledge that, you know. And there's and you're fine with it, you just don't care. That's cool too. Like, there's some things where it's just like, bro, I like it just because I just thought it was good. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Like, I like it because I thought it was good. I can give other reasonings and try to articulate my opinion, but sometimes you just like things because you think it's good. It sounds really dumb, and it sounds like you get no feedback off of it. Like, what makes it good? What makes it bad? But it's like, sometimes, bro, you just like it because it's good. I'm gonna keep saying it, but it sounds dumb. Like, I perfectly understand what was happening. Like, what made KH3's world so like, I guess what makes it so interesting for me is because I'm as big as I am on the characters. Like, I don't know if there's that many people in the KH community who like every character in KH. I literally like almost every character in Kingdom Hearts, and Sora learning about like the hearts inside him, that felt very significant to me. Like, of course, a lot of other people, they know Roxas is inside of him. They know Xion's there. And they know Ventus is there. Well, not everyone knew Xion was there, but everyone knew Ventus and Roxas were there. So they're like, whatever. He'll find out about them whenever and, save them. But for me, it's like, it's super important, the process to him finding out about them. Because if he just randomly was like, oh, all right, so Roxas, you ready to come out now? Yeah, buddy, sure. Like, no, like, that would be dumb. But there needs to be a process to him learning and finding out about the people inside his heart. Finding out, why is it important to save them? What are Sora's own internal motivations for saving these characters? He almost cares about that more than the Keyblade War, because he's just that type of guy. More than, like, he's excited to, more than he cares about fighting this big bad guy who's ruined everything. He wants to make sure these people, these friends, these people who have, like, hopes and dreams or like aspirations, that they're okay. And you get all of that in the Disney worlds, but no one cares about that. Everyone just cares about the big fight at the end. So they see big fight at the end of KH, you're like, okay, that's the important stuff. None of this other character development matters. That's just how it feels to an extent. Not one-to-one. It's not like, it doesn't accurately portray how I feel or how other people may feel, but that's how it gets interpreted in the simplest of terms. Like, it just feels like people only care when, like, when it's obvious. When it's obvious, okay, this stuff matters. But when it's not obvious to them, it's like, oh, it's filler, bro. Like, no, it's not filler at all. Like, no. I see all of George's stuff. Me and George are cool. I've seen all of his stuff. But it doesn't make sense to spread out Keyblade Graveyard events, though. That doesn't make any sense for the story, like, at all. Like, a lot of people say Aqua should have been saved mid-game. I completely disagree, because Aqua, in character for Aqua, people are like, oh, give her time to rest. That doesn't make sense for her character whatsoever. The first thing Aqua would do when she is saved would be to save Ventus. And once you save Ventus, guess what? You have your Guardians of Light at that point. Like, so when you have your Guardians of Light, you go to the Keyblade Graveyard now. Like, that whole sequence made perfect sense to be at the end game. Aqua would not sit down and rest and be like, oh, okay, before I say, I'm gonna let you sleep a little longer, Ventus. I gotta chill for a little bit. Maybe when they saved Aqua, they could have had Aqua in like a coma or something for like a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they could have let that happen, but like, literally, she would have immediately saved Ventus. And then, when she saves Ventus, you have your Guardians. You go to Keyblade Graveyard. They're not going to wait. Aqua and Ventus aren't going to waste time to try and confront Terra, confront Xehanort. They want to destroy this man. They robbed them of their, like, 10 years, basically, together. So, like, it all makes sense within the characters. What a scene I will say that is very weird, when the Guardians get cooked by just Terranort. That's a very odd scene, but it was still cool. That scene was literally very out of place, but Remind, that scene was literally just Remind beat. I mean, I think a decent amount was happening in Disney Worlds, though. But I mean, I guess for people who need something more obvious, a midpoint probably would have benefited them. I think the lack of original worlds is the issue for sure, though. That sucks. Like, I didn't even realize KH3 didn't have that many original worlds. Though I beat the game, or like full scaled out ones. But when I beat the, like, after words, a friend pointed out to me. I think my friend Oblivy pointed it out to me. And I was just like, dang. You're kind of right. They really don't have any original worlds. No full-scale original worlds. Yeah, everything, bro. Every Kingdom Hearts game has like a super long end game. Every single KH game. Even KH2. A lot happened in Hollow Bastion, but like a lot of stuff happened in the world that never was. Like in KH1 even. KH1, if you want to include the first time you visit Hollow Bastion as the end game, all of that is long. KH3's end game wasn't short either. It wasn't like they shoved everything into like 2 hours. Bro, Keyblade Graveyard took up like a whole third maybe of the game, I might say. Cause like, there was a lot of cutscenes there. There was a lot of fights there. Like, I think if I remember correctly, I had 25 hours on KH3. Keyblade Graveyard took me about 5-6 hours to finish. Like, that was a lot. That was a lot. How long did Keyblade Graveyard take for y'all to finish? Like, if you were skipping, unless you were skipping cutscenes, there was like no way Keyblade Graveyard took you less than like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I think Twilight Town is like one of the worst worlds in KH3. That world got disrespected like a lot. "30 minutes? Maybe in a speed run, if you're a top speed runner." Even speedrunners take like, I think close to 20-30 minutes on Keyblade Graveyard. That was not no short session. But yeah, moving along from KH3. Actually, I'm probably gonna end the stream here because I want to eat my food and I don't want you guys to just like be sitting there quiet while I'm eating. But I appreciate the talk though. I mean, even though I was ranting about KH3 takes, it was still fun. I had a lot of fun reading chat, reading messages. I told you it was going to be a short live stream, but we're going to head out now. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I will be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll recode it. Maybe something else. Maybe we'll do another talking stream. I don't know. We'll see. But if you guys want to continue the discussion, feel free to join the Discord. You can argue about it with me in main chat because I'm cool with that. I'll interact with you. But anyways, that will be all.